Okay, welcome to Marketing 452 International Marketing. This is chapter 14. Chapter 14. In this chapter, let's talk about global promotion strategies. Right? Your global promotional strategies, and how to promote your product in the global market. Okay? The learning objective of this chapter is you'll be able to list the major factors that determine a firm's ability to use a push or pull promotion strategy in different national markets. Contrast the benefits to the international marketer of using an international sales force with those of using local sales forces. Okay? Describe the impact that differentiated purchasing behaviors, buying criteria, languages, and negotiation styles can have on international selling. And explain the importance of global account management. Describe how global marketers can successfully utilize international trade fairs and consortia, as well as manage the international bidding process. Cite examples of how sales promotions vary across cultures and suggest reasons for these differences. Note the recent international trends in sales promotions, sports sponsorships, telemarketing, product placement, and managing word of mouth promotion. Give examples of international public relations disasters and suggest ways by which global marketers can promote the goodwill of their companies. Okay? These are our learning objectives. The outline of this chapter, we talk about global promotion strategies overall, okay? Personal selling, personal selling as a promotion, and global account management, okay? Global account management, selling to businesses and governments, okay? Other forms of promotions and public relations, etc. Okay. Remember the marketing mix, right? For a well-positioned marketing mix, you need to have a targeted product, targeted price, targeted place, and then the place we just talked about in previous chapter, and then targeted promotion. Your promotion must target a specific segment of consumers in the international market. Okay? You need to have a targeted promotion, right, to be effective and cost-effective and effective. Okay? And these are the ways for you to promote your product internationally. And firms often consider an integrated international promotion. What are the tools you can use? Let's start from the top. Events and sponsorship. You can sponsor events, sports events, cultural events, other events. You can become sponsors of certain things, certain causes, certain issues, certain products, right? You can become sponsors. Use that as a way to promote your product, right? You can use direct marketing, like the Mary Kay example we just described last time, okay? Use direct marketing directly to consumers in the other country, right? You can use public relations, use PRs, right? Media coverage, media report on your company, on your product. Okay? You can use in-store promotions in the store, right? Coupons, instant coupons, and other promotions you have. Okay? You can use personal selling. Okay? You have a trained professional salesperson to do personal selling to your targeted consumers or users. Okay? You can use publicity. Okay? In PR and publicity, what's the difference between PR and publicity? Okay? PR is your internal management functions. You basically use PR to manage your publicity. Publicity, on the other hand, is done by the media companies that they did on their own to report about your product, your company, your personnel, right? But oftentimes, we know publicity could be negative, oftentimes negative, right? That's when and where your PR department needs to be busy working to correct those bad images of your company. Right? And then there is a trade fair. Right? You can attend the trade fairs, right, to promote your product. Then, of course, there is advertising, global, international advertising. Advertise your product. Okay? In global promotion, there's also this issue of standardization versus, adaptation. Okay? Do you use the same promotional tools or system you have in this country to promote in other countries, or you adapt to the local conditions? Okay, standardization versus adaptation issue again. Okay. Let's see. What are the advantages of using a standardized promotion strategy? Standardization advantages. Right? By using a standardized approach, you achieve economies of scope. Remember economies of scope, right? And you can save on production costs because you do the same thing, right? Just use the same tools, right? You're able to spend more time, attention on money, and money on campaign itself. Okay? You can have a strong branding image, avoid confusion because it's standardized, and there will be less confusion among travelers and viewers of global media and the internet and international organizational buyers. There will be less confusion to them because you maintain the same branding image through the same channels. Okay? Your promotion and development costs could be shared across many countries. You can have the same tools, same advertising, same promotion, and developed and used, in many countries instead of just one. Okay? That's the advantage of standardization. Okay? But then maybe you are under pressure to have adaptation. Use adaptation strategy. You may have to adapt. Okay, what are the pressures? For example, there could be written and spoken language differences. Spoken and written language differences. Then you may have to adapt to local language. Right? There could be differences in symbolic meaning. Symbolic meaning may mean different things, totally different things, or even opposite things in different country and culture. You just have to adapt. Differences in humor. Americans, we are very humorous, right? We love humor. We laugh at humor. We enjoy humor, right? And that may not be the case in many other countries, unfortunately. All right, that's not the case. Yeah. Your humor may not resonate with them. Okay. There are also differences in product use and preference. Use of product and preference in different countries. And there could be lack of cross-cultural icons. Cross-cultural icons. You may have your favorite singing stars, movie stars, and other celebrities, and serving as icons for your product or your company. That may not resonate with the other countries, consumers in other countries. Values and norms may be different. What we consider valuable, what we consider being the norm, it may not be the same as in other countries. Also remember cultural dimension, collectivism versus individualism. Collectivism versus individualism. And in a collective country, this America, the United States, we are an individualistic country. If you go to a collectivism country, that promotional tools may have to be adapted. Also, there could be government regulation as to what you can and cannot do. Then you have to adapt. Right? Push versus pull strategies. Right? Push versus pull strategy. In global promotion, you can have a pull strategy and you can have a push strategy. What is a pull strategy? A pull strategy focuses on the end user or the buyer, the consumer, right? Dependent on sales, promotions, and advertising. You promote it, you advertise it to the end users, and then they will come to retailers, wholesalers to ask for your product. That's pull strategy. Okay, as consumers to pull. Right? It's advisable when product is widely used by consumers, the channel is long, the product is not too complex, and when self-service is predominant shopping behavior, then you should use the pull strategy. What is the push strategy? Push strategy. Instead of focusing on the end user or buyer, the consumer, push strategy focuses on the distributors of the product, the distributors, the channels, right? Incentives offered to wholesalers or retailers to carry your product, to promote your product, right? You may resort to push when there is a lack of advertising media is just not available, or difficulty in transferring your pull strategy in foreign markets. Then use a push. Okay? Push. Okay? I'll give an example here. In India, there is a Hindu festival that attracts U.S. markets, U.S. marketers. Okay? The festival is called the Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is a festival that draws 30 million participants, for a period of 1 month, many from small towns. Okay? And Western brands promote the products there. They offer samples, billboards, and posters, advertising, and other sales promotions. They encourage product trial and the insights word of mouth, but of course they are being criticized. They're being criticized for commercializing on ancient traditions. And or maybe they say, hey, that's economic imperialism. So that's the issue you may have to have, right? Personal selling or professional selling. When a customer is met in person by a representative of the marketing company, that is personal selling, right? Personal selling. Right? In international personal selling, company sales force travels across countries and meet directly with clients abroad. And you have a company sales, you travel to other country to do international selling. Right? That's one form in that sense. Or you can do local selling. Instead of sending someone from your headquarters in this country across to other country to sell, serving as international salesperson, you can train the local salesperson, local selling. You organize and staff a local sales force made up of local nationals to do selling in that country. Either 2 ways you can do that. Okay, you can do that. When doing international selling, just like in domestic selling, of course you focus on the decision maker, in the buyer. But in addition to the decision maker, you have to consider the users of the product. Okay? The gatekeepers, remember the gatekeeper, the finance guys, the receptionist, right? The buyers, the actual buying agent, right? And the influencers, other people who may have a say in the final decision making. And of course, there is the initiator. The initiator may not be the user of the product. So you have to keep all these factors, all these players in mind. Okay, purchasing behavior can vary country to country, as you imagine. Okay, and also who is the buying unit. You consider that. What roles does each play in the decision-making process? That you have to look at. Okay? Negotiations. In international promotion, you may have to engage in negotiations, right? And the style of negotiations vary a lot. Okay, the negotiation style. The Japanese is considered the least aggressive, the least aggressive. Right? Just being least aggressive does not necessarily mean they agree with you all the time or easily agree with you. Right? They may be too polite to say no to you in your face. Okay, so it's least aggressive. The French and the Brazilians are considered the most aggressive. The most aggressive. The Russians are considered believing in zero-sum game. What's a zero-sum game? Basically, they have this belief that if I want to gain, you must lose. Well, if you gain, I must lose, and the sum is zero, right? Either you lose or I lose. You gain, I must lose. So that's their belief, right? In America, we believe in win-win situation, right? We want both sides to gain some, both sides to lose some. In the end, they have a win-win situation. But the Russians don't believe that way. So you just have to train them or educate them or tell them about that, help them to see that there is possible to avoid zero-sum game, but to achieve a win-win situation. Okay? Also, time orientation is quite different. Yeah, time orientation is longer in China versus U.S. and Europe. Chinese may think of 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, long-term relationships. Attitude toward the final contract is different. In this country, we believe in get it in writing, right? Get it in writing, put it on paper culture. In other countries, they may feel, hey, if we shake hands, we're friends, we can seal a deal just by shaking hands. And that's different attitudes toward the final contract. Local selling. If you hire local sales force, the role of local sales force, you can have a missionary sales force. Those salespeople do not take commissions. They visit clients together with the local distributor sales force, right, to help. Right? And you can have a company-owned sales force. The company sales force ensures personnel have right training and qualification and uniform pricing negotiations. Right? Foreign sales practices could be very different, right? The nature of the interaction between salespeople and local customers can be different from market to market. Right? For example, Bosch and Long, the company, didn't learn that lesson in Japan, and they realized there's a huge difference there. Okay? Local selling, recruit your sales force. Okay, there is a scarcity. There's scarcity of skilled personnel. Meaning, very good, skilled salesperson is hard to find. Okay, there is a scarcity of that. Okay, when recruiting for your salesperson. There are differences in prestige of sales positions in different cultures. In our culture, salesperson is considered quite prestigious. We have pharmaceutical sales, the big equipment sales. There are super salespeople making millions of dollars, right? But in many other countries, they consider salesperson to be inferior or begging for people to spend money. So compensation. Salespeople from different cultures may respond to motivation programs in the same way. May not be the same way. You can consider rewarding volume, the sales volume, or there's a consistency issues, there's straight salaries, etc., etc. Some may prefer not paid on commission, but just on salary. Okay? What makes a great salesperson? What makes a great salesperson? You have to consider the context. There's a high context versus low context society. Okay? In a low context society, right, preparation is key. Preparation is important for a great salesperson. Great product is important for them. The appearance of a salesperson is important. Okay? The enthusiasm of a salesperson is very important. Okay? The self-confidence of a salesperson, very important. And the great closer, you have to be able to close a deal. In low context society like the United States, these are the most important things. Preparation, great product, appearance, enthusiasm, self-confidence, and closer, a great closer. In a high context society, and like in Japan or China, for example, right? Preparation is important. Make great product is also important, but the appearance may not be that important. The person himself or herself is important. Cultural awareness is important. You need to be aware of their cultures, the cultural differences, right? And the relationship is important. You're not necessarily a great closer, just you have to have a good attitude towards building the relationship and maintaining the relationship. Okay? So making a great salesperson in low context versus high context societies, they're quite different things to look into, right? They're quite different things that you need to pay attention to. Okay? Global account teams. What are global account teams? The global team is a team that services a customer in every country in which the customer operates. And remember, your customer may operate in many, many countries, right? Then you may have to service them in many, many countries. Okay? Like Siemens, for example, German company have Siemens. They have teams for Volkswagen and Ford, and just for those companies, because the Volkswagen and Ford operate in many countries. Siemens service them in many countries. You have the response to centralized purchasing within global firms. They have had the information technology to make it possible, and there are also price pressures for you to work with them like that. Okay? International trade fairs. Another way of promoting your product is through international trade fairs. You attend those trade fairs. That's ideal for exposing new customers and potential distributors to a company's product range. Right? It's very important for B2B sales in markets with underdeveloped media channels. If the media channel is not well developed, if you sell to other businesses, it's probably better or easier for you to go to those trade fairs. Okay? There are over 600 trade shows in 70 countries each year. 600 trade shows in 70 countries each year. There's a Cologne Trade Fair. There's a Hanover Fair, both in Germany. Very important for American companies to go, to attend, to showcase your product, and to get connections, to get contracts. Okay? Bidding process. Okay? To sell to government contracts, governments, or oftentimes government, or even others, maybe it's business. Sometimes you may have to go through a bidding process. In the process of bidding, you start with the search phase. The first one is search, right? Purchaser utilizes the media and business contacts to search for vendors, search for a possible vendor that can offer you the product you're buying, right? The second stage is pre-qualify your vendors. Your purchaser requests documentation from potential bidders to pre-qualify them. There are ones that were not qualified, they will not be invited. Okay. Then third stage, formal bids. Send formal bids. The bidders provide written statement of how they will solve purchaser's problem and the price. It's in form of sealed bid, right? You turn in the sealed bids by the deadline. And the last stage is selection. The purchaser makes the choice based on oftentimes the price in the bid. Okay? Sometimes you may have to ask for a performance bond, right? That's a guarantee that the company will pay certain specified damages if job is not completed in accordance with specifications. Performance bond. Right? That's bidding process. Sales, let's talk about sales promotions. Sales promotions, your sales promotion, the targeting like aiming at immediate sales, can add value to products in order to stimulate consumer purchasing and or channel cooperation. Okay? You want to stimulate consumer purchase, make people buy right now, okay? Or channels to cooperate with you. Right? You want to add value to the products. Yeah. You can use coupons, right? You can use sweepstakes, okay? Gifts, reduced price labels, free goods, freebies, double pack promotions, in-store displays, slouting allowances, etc. Right? You can use all these here. Okay? There are country-to-country differences exist for sales promotion. There are cultural norms that play a role, right? The Taiwanese consumers prefer coupons to sweepstakes. In Taiwan, consumers prefer coupons to sweepstakes. In Malaysia and Thailand, Malaysian and Thais prefer sweepstakes to coupons. Just the way they are, right? Also, government restrictions and regulation may affect how you can do your promotions. In Japan, there is a limit on the value of promotional gifts attached to product that is of 10% of product price or lower. So it cannot be more than 10% of product price. And this in Japan. The next one, another way for you to promote your product is sponsorship, sports promotions and sponsorship. Okay? Sports events increasingly covered by global media, right? Like Olympic Games and World Cup soccer. You probably is very fond of that. You like to watch those, right? They're increasingly covered by global media, right? And then you can sponsor those events and have your name, your brand in those sign space, right? You should have logo or brand worth exposing to global audience, right? It's worth exposing, right? You have to take into consideration popularity of certain sports and the segments they attract, right? Are the segment that you're targeting, are they the same as the sports that attract or attendance or attendees, people going to those sports, okay? Like as the World Cup soccer games, right? Who are the people who watch soccer games? Are these the same people that you're targeting? Right? You need to consider that, okay? Sponsorship. But beware of the ambushers, right? There are non-sponsored Samsung at World Cup. There are ambushers. You watch out for that. Okay? Telemarketing is another way of promoting your product. Okay? Telemarketing can be used to solicit sales and offer enhanced customer service to current and potential consumers. You need to have an efficient telephone system to do that, of course. Right? Telephone numbers must be easy to obtain, and just keep in mind that phone books do not exist in every country. Not every country has a phone book. Right? And government restrictions and regulations may apply to your telemarketing effort. Okay? Managing word of mouth. Okay? Cultural differences in product recommendation preferences. Individualistic cultures versus collectivist cultures. Which one is more likely to spread the word of mouth? You can imagine collectivist, right? In collectivist cultures, people are more likely to spread the word of mouth about the product, both good and bad. Okay? They may spread the word of mouth. They may tell other people about how good the product is, or how bad the product is. Okay? As marketers, you can use buzz marketing. Buzz marketing. What is buzz marketing? Marketing activities undertaken to stimulate consumer discussion of the product on the internet, on social media groups, or whatever, right? Be careful, there could be good buzz or bad buzz, right? Good buzz or bad buzz. Okay? Word of mouth in Asia. Word of mouth is especially important in many Asian countries. Okay? In Japanese high school, girls send like 200 text messages a day. It's 200 text messages a day. You can see that they spread a lot of information about product. Right? Mars Inc., the company, the candy maker Mars, successfully promoted Snickers in China with just the buzz marketing. They were able to promote Snickers candy bar in China just by doing that very successfully. Yet another one is PR, public relations. That's another tool of promoting a product. Okay? What's PR, public relations? That's marketing activities that enhance brand equity by promoting goodwill towards the organization. Basically, by enhance your brand equity by promoting goodwill towards our company. And it may be necessary to defend brand against bad publicity. If something bad happening, you have a bad publicity, you may have to do some PR work to defend, right? To defend your brand. Right? PR campaigns can go wrong if not managed correctly. Yeah, campaign, but it could go wrong if it's not managed properly. Right? Philip Morris, the tobacco company, had that issue in the Czech Republic. Okay? And Nestle's baby formula in developing countries also had similar issues. And you can find the details of those cases in the textbook. Okay? I think that's all I have for this chapter. Okay? Thank you, and I will see you next time.